Okay, move on to the exercise for the skin. Where's the exercise? Okay, it's here. All right, let's discuss the exercise first. Okay, number 1. Haridev?
Which of the following sensory organs and stimuli is correctly matched? Sensory organ skin, stimulus is heat.
Yeah, skin and heat is correct. Tongue, not a chemical vapor, but chemical in food. Chemical vapor means it's the nose, okay, not the tongue. Nose is not sound, it's chemical vapor. And eye for the sight, not the smell. So the answer is A. Okay, number 2, Tan.
Uh, what is produced when a sensory organ
Yeah.
receives a stimulus?
Hmm.
Uh, what the answer? Nerve
General,
impulses.
yeah. Generally, any organ, any sensory organ, when it receives the stimulus, it will generate the or it will convert all the stimulus into nerve impulses to be sent to the brain. So nerve impulses. Good. Next, number 3, Ishwar.
Which of the following sensory organs are sensitive to chemicals?
Hmm.
Nose and tongue.
Nose and tongue, yes, because chemical no, for tongue is chemical in food. For nose is chemical in the vapor formula. So both are chemicals. So P and Q. Right. Next question. Haridev.
Oh, a student receives an infection of BCG to prevent the disease of tuberculosis in his school. What
Hmm.
type of receptor that receives the stimuli when the student receives an injection?
Hmm.
Pressure receptor.
Pressure. No, pressure paling dalam punya.
Oh, pain receptor.
Pain receptor. Okay, pain receptor. It is the most closest to our skin, right? That day I already explained why the pain receptor have to be closest to the skin. Okay, so pain receptor so that we can react quickly and we do a proper response to avoid a further injury. Okay, or not to make the wound to become more serious. Okay, right. Next one, Tan.
A housefly rested on Ali's arm and he can detect the presence of the housefly immediately. What type of receptor on Ali's skin has detected the stimulus? Touch receptor.
Touch receptor, yes. Good. Next, number 6, Ishwar.
Which of the following body parts are less sensitive to touch stimulus?
Hmm.
Uh, Lips and back of the ear.
Oh, that is most sensitive. They're asking less sensitive.
Elbow and knee.
Elbow and knee are the less sensitive part. 1 and 2. Okay, this one is the most sensitive part. Okay, that's why your if you go to the cold room or very hot, you all have this experience, right? When you feel hot, you can feel the warm around the ear first. Okay, especially when you are angry, you can see the heat, or you can feel the heat around the ear. Or when you go to any cold place also, you can feel the coldness around your ear first, because your ear is very sensitive part. Okay, what we mean by sensitive, got two factors affecting the sensitivity of the skin. First thing is number of receptor, second is thickness of epidermis. So thinner the epidermis and more the receptor, more sensitive this body part is. Okay, must remember that. Number 7.
Which of the following receptors is located in the skin epidermis? Pain receptor.
Pain receptor. Skin epidermis means to the surface lah. So pain receptor is the most closest one. I already repeated so many times. Pain receptor. Okay, number 8.
Doctors choose to give injections on a patient's arm because. Give me a sec, sir.
Okay.
What do you call it? Because there are less pain receptors there.
Yeah. You can talk about two things. Okay. First you can tell the epidermis part at that particular part of the body is thicker, and also you can talk about the number of receptor. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So yeah, because the epidermis is thicker and there are many there are less, there are a few less number of pain receptor on patient's arm. The epidermis is thicker and there is less number of pain receptor on patient's arm. Okay, right. Next, number 9. You sure?
Which of the following statement is true? B. The more receptors are present in the skin, the more sensitive the skin is to stimuli.
Yes, more receptor, more sensitive. Easy. Number 10. PQRST.
The diagram below shows the cross section of the human skin. P is heat receptor.
Yeah, P is a heat receptor. Heat and cold almost the same lah. Right. Heat
Q
receptor.
is oh,
Q is
touch receptor.
Q is touch receptor because it's close enough to the dermis part. R,
Pain receptor.
yes, because it is present in the epidermis part.
Is
And
cold receptor.
cold receptor, yes, exactly. And the most deepest one is
Pressure receptor.
pressure receptor. Okay, good. So we successfully label this. Okay, name the layers of the skin that carry out this function. X, Y, Z. Yes, done.
Wait, I'm on the wrong page.
Okay.
Layer X, the waterproof layer that prevents the entry of microorganisms.
Layer X. This
Layer
one. The
uh,
most surf.
Epidermis,
Yeah, that's the epidermis.
the layer where the most receptors are situated. Layer Y, the dermis,
Yes, it is the dermis.
and layer Z, which is an insulator that maintains body temperature, the body fat.
Yeah,
No, fat layer.
fat layer lah, fat layer. Okay, good. Okay, this one all K-part question. Let us do together. No worries. Okay, come. You see this first question. Explain why fingertips and not the palm of the hand lah, are used to detect the Braille symbol. Okay, we need to tell because fingertips are more sensitive towards the touch compared to a palm of the hand. Okay, you need to explain, so you need to state first what is the reason, then you explain. Okay, the reason why fingertips are more sensitive, okay, are used to detect Braille symbol. Okay, so you can tell fingertips is more sensitive, okay, towards touch stimuli compared to the palm of the hand. Okay, this is because we explain, this is because you explain the two factors lah. The fingertips has thinner epidermis layer and has more touch receptor compared to palm of the hand. Okay? Okay. Tell me done once you're done.
Done, sir.
Done. Okay, thank you. Let's move on to the next question. Mazlan classified the tongue as a skin that has taste receptor. Do you agree with the classification of the tongue as a skin? We already discussed about this previously because the skin and the tongue also carry out the function same as the skin, that is to detect the heat, cold, pressure, pain and touch through your tongue. So a tongue can be a taste receptor as well a receptor that is almost equivalent to a skin part because the surface of the tongue is covered by the skin. Okay, so yes, we do agree with the statement given by the Mazlan. Okay, do you agree? We answer that part first. Yes, I do agree with the statement. I do agree with the statement. Okay, this is because tongue being a organ receptor for the sense of taste also able to detect stimulus that can be detected by the skin, such as what, pain, pressure, okay, pain, pressure, heat, cold and touch. Okay, this is possible we just give another point, this is possible because the surface of the tongue is covered by the skin. Sorry, I provided you a limited space there. This is possible because the surface of the tongue is covered by skin. Okay, these are all K-BAT questions, Okay. Done?
Done, sir.
Okay. Next, how the skin work as a sense of sight for the blind people. Okay, so this one you must think first before you do. Okay, this one they asking how the skin can act as a sense of sight for the blind people. For example, how the blind people live. To read something, they will use their fingertips, the sensitivity on their fingertips to read the braille words, and to move around, they will use a special walking stick. So how they can know this one is not the path I should take, this one is the path I should go, because they use the walking stick on their palm and or the fingertips to detect the vibration on the walking stick, so they can know if something is like a very solid touch. Okay, I can go there. If it's like a um, not a stable path, they will try to avoid that path. Okay, for example lah. So how the skin work as a sense of sight for the blind people. Okay, so let me talk about the sensitivity of the hand first, then we go for the sensitivity of the fingertips to read something. Okay, so how I'm going to start. Okay, sensitivity of the hand to detect what vibrations of the walking stick sensitivity of the hand to detect vibration of the walking stick when it hits the objects okay, and this enables the blind people to detect, to move around by detecting the nearby obstacles by using the walking stick. Okay, sensitivity of the hand detect vibration of the walking stick when it hits the object, and this enable the blind people to move around by detecting the nearby obstacle by using the walking stick. And second point is sensitivity of the fingertips. Sensitivity of fingertips can be used to read braille. Okay, that's how the skin act as an eye for them.
Sir, for questions like this, do we have to just choose one or we can give
Dep-
two?
Depends on the mark. Normally question like this they will put 4 marks or 3 marks.
If it's 4 marks or 3 marks, do we just put one or two, sir?
2.
Two.
If it is just 2 marks, then you can put 1 EC each code.
Oh, okay, sir.
Later I will show you how I think already here. See, they can ask until 4 marks if they want the justifying answer type question.
Oh,
4 marks. So need to give 4 points lah. Or if you put only 3 points, we will sometimes you mistakenly combine 2 points together in one sentence. So it doesn't matter. The Pemeriksha will just check for the points and then they bracket them up and then they give mark.
okay, sir.
Okay? Right. Now, give reason for the following observation based on the factor that affect the skin sensitivity. Okay, factor means you must talk about the thinner or thicker the epidermis, more or less the number of receptor lah. Okay, now observation. The blinds use their fingertips to read Braille. This is because thinner epidermis and more touch receptor. We already talk about this. Okay, so just tell fingertips has thinner epidermis and more number of touch receptors. Should I must use touch receptor? Can I put receptors only? Can, no problem. Okay, I just specify my answer, which receptor I meant here. Okay, this number one is easy because we just did a lot of question about the fingertips. Okay, next, the neck is more sensitive than the sole of the feet. Leher lebih peka daripada tapak kaki. Okay, why it is so? Okay, just this one we must talk about the of course the epidermis thickness. Okay, you can see the sole of the feet is very thick, right? The epidermis. Okay, compared to the neck is a very sensitive part. Okay, so and then you must tell you also can explain the thing, why the epidermis thinner is more sensitive. We just learned that thinner the epidermis, sensitive the skin is, right? But why is it like that? You also can able to explain it. Okay, maybe I provide you the reason, because okay, I will tell you. Because if you see, this is our skin, right? Okay, this is thinner skin, this is a thicker skin. Okay, let's say here is where you going, where your stimulus going to be detected. If it is thinner, the distance between this place we call the end of the receptor to the place where the receptor are detected is shorter, so faster the stimulus can be detected. If it is thicker, the distance is more, so it will be late, or it take a much longer time to detect. Okay, right. The epidermis layer of the neck is thinner compared to sole of feet. Okay, therefore the end nerve of receptor and stimulus are nearer. Okay, this is the stimulus part, this is the end nerve of receptor, so they are nearer, so easy to detect and produce response. The doctor give vaccine injection on the arm of the patient. I think we already discussed about this, okay, previously at here. Okay, because the epidermis is thicker, the epidermis layer at where? They put where? On the arm. The epidermis layer on the arm is thicker. Okay, so you can explain the same thing, and the number of pain receptor is lesser. So the end nerve of receptor and stimulus are quite far from each other, so they won't be easily detected by the skin. The pain is not easily detected by the skin. This one I just give you the extra point. As far you can write the you can write in terms of the thickness of epidermis and number of receptor is good enough already. But sometimes if they asking 3 marks, so you must able to explain one of the factor why the thinner epidermis is more sensitive, because the end nerve of receptor and stimulus are nearer. So a faster response or a faster detection can take place. Just make your own sentence lah. Okay, done. Writing with me, right? So should have done, right?
Roger.
Done. Okay, right. Let's move on to the next question. Okay, let's try a PT3 question here. 2017 question I included for you. All right. Amin accompanies his mother to hospital for Aisha's vaccination. In the lift, Amin sees the different pattern of dot on the lift button as shown in diagram 14. Okay, example like this. Okay, now the question, name one receptor in human skin. They never specify about the diagram 14. They just ask generally. So you can include all your 5 receptor that a skin can or the skin able to detect. For example, you can talk about touch, pain, pressure, but in the exam give one enough lah. Here I just list down all the available answer here that is that can be accepted for this question. Heat, and one more is cold. Any one of these. Okay, next question. When Amin touched the lift button, he can feel the different pattern on the dots. State the sense that has been stimulated. Okay, so he touched, right? So definitely it's a sense of touch. Must know how to answer. Sometimes sense is what, but I don't know what I have to write. Sense of touch lah. Okay, skin is sense of touch. So easy 2 mark question. Okay, let's see the next part. While waiting for his sister, Amin surfed the internet and found out that actually you all should know internet is a kata nama khas. Must be big letter. Okay, Amin surfed the internet and found the data below as shown in the table 14. Okay, you see parts of the body, abdomen, and the thickness of epidermis in micrometer, 46.6, cheek is 38, neck is 38, earlobe is 30. Okay, from here, based on the table above, state which part of the body will be the fastest to detect the coldness. So they never ask directly, they never ask which part is most sensitive. They just state a little bit trick for you. Okay, state which part of the body will fastest to detect the coldness. Fastest means it must be a thinner epidermis, right? So the most thinnest is this one, earlobe. Earlobe part is just a 30 micrometer. So earlobe. Okay, it's an earlobe. Okay, why is it like that? Okay, now explain your answer. Okay, so we can explain earlobe has the thinnest epidermis layer. So the earlobe is most sensitive to the coldness. I think most students, they just explain this, they leave out. And that year 2017, I should remember, because my sister's year question is this. Okay, high school take this set number 3. Okay, and most of them get 1 mark only, because this is just explained that the thinnest epidermis lemmis is nothing we can see from the table. They never accept as a point. You talk about earlobe is the most sensitive among all these parts of the body, you get 1 mark only. Another 1 mark you need to explain what? Explain why earlobe able is the part of the body which is the fastest to detect the coldness. So here the point that I just now teach you will come handy. You can talk about the distance between the end nerve of receptor and stimulus are nearer, so it is faster to detect. Okay, you can include that point. So the end of receptor nerve and stimulus is very near in a thinner epidermis layer. So the coldness, we are talking about coldness, right? The coldness can be detected, okay, instantly compared to other parts of body. Just anything that make your statement look sense. Okay, the end of receptors nerve and stimulus is very near in a thinner epidermis layer, so the coldness can be detected instantly compared to other parts of the body. See, very nice to explain things also. Okay, done guys.
Anja.
Okay, next. Aisha is receiving vaccination through injection at the pediatric clinic. Suggest which part of Aisha's body is most suitable for the injection. Justify your answer. Okay, you can answer. I think you can. You can suggest two best answers here. Because if you put the arm also correct, if you put the buttocks part is much better answer. Okay, so only these two parts of the body. Okay, because I think it's just a pediatric clinic. I mean, children mostly they won't inject to the arm. Only for the adult at the arm. Okay, for children, it is more suitable is the buttocks part lah. Oh my god. So you can put buttocks area. Okay, you get your first mark. Okay, suggest which part ready, and then justify your answer. Buttocks area has thicker epidermis layer and less number of pain receptor. Okay, so the buttocks area is less sensitive towards the pain. Okay, it's less sensitive towards the pain. So am I get all the 4 marks here? Let us check. Buttocks area has thicker epidermis, 1 mark. Less number of pain receptor, 1 mark. Less sensitive, 1 mark. You get all your 4 marks there. Done?
Done, sir.
Okay, good. Okay, now Amin schools will receive a disabled student who is blind. Amin and his classmate will like to help their blind friend to go toilet safely. The renovation of the corridor need to be done without being an obstacle to other students as well. So, suggest the renovation to the corridor by using the given material, bottle cap and PVC glue. Okay, you were given a floor plan as this. This is the classroom, corridor here, got drain here, and then pathway to the toilet going this way, I think. Okay, right. So 1 mark for you to draw the design, sketch out and explain how it works is 2 mark. This is the part mostly the question where the student cannot answer properly. You need to think properly and design and think the reason behind each design you are going to sketch out. Okay, so how I'm going to do this using a PVC glue and a bottle cap, what you can do, you can stick the bottle cap lah. Okay, so remember I told you blind people are normally using the walking stick, right? So you want to go to the toilet safely. That means what is the intention of the question? We don't want the blind friend go towards the drain and fall down there. So you must give a early sign before you reach there. So why I can suggest is you stick the bottle caps like this before the it reach the drain like this. Same thing here. You have to do on the right hand side. Okay, like this. Okay, you put the all the bottle caps. You labeled it bottle caps. That uh, that stick. bottle caps. Bottle caps. Bottle caps only. We know it is. We are using the PVC glue to paste it. Okay, just write bottle caps enough. Because 1 mark only, right? They want to see how you design. Okay, now you explain how this design work. Okay, so first thing, so this bottle cap will make the road uneven. So when the walking stick of the blind student touch the uneven surface, you get the warning. Okay, so he won't choose that part. Okay, and then this sense of touch enable him to go to the toilet without falling into the drain. That's our purpose, right? We put right in front of the drain. So you explain that lah. Any explanation that relevant to our question. Okay, for example, okay, I can talk about why I design like this first. So the bottle cap make the road or path uneven and give a warning, and this alarms or give warnings to the blind student. Okay, he can use his sense of touch through the aid of walking stick lah, through the aid of walking stick to go to the toilet without falling into the drain. Okay, just any relevant explanation will entitle for the 2 marks. Done means please let me know, otherwise I don't know.
Done, sir.
Okay, next. Thank you. Next, question 13. This is the last PT3 that ever happened in Malaysia. Okay, after 2019 there is no no PT3 for 2 years. Yeah, 2020 and 2021 we don't have PT3. This year is still under discussion, we don't know yet. Okay, let's see. Question 13, PT3 2019. Now, this question. Amin is gardening. He cut a few stalks of flowers. Diagram 6.1 show the flower that was cut by Amin. Okay. Name the sensory organ for touching. Sensory organ. Organ is skin lah. Right. Sensory organ is the skin. Okay. Now, based on diagram 6.1, that means your answer must be based on this diagram. State the stimuli and response involved. The stimuli is he go and touch the thorn. So it is not touch, it's the pain, right? Okay, it's the pain. Pain is the stimuli. And what should be the response? Immediately withdraw your hand from the flower, right? That should be your response. Okay, withdrawing hand from holding the flower. Okay, withdrawing hand from holding the flower. Okay, next part. Next question. Amin collected and burned the dry leaf. Okay, he collected and burned the dry leaf. The smoke made his eye blinked. Okay, explain the type of response and its importance. Okay, this one is what kind of response is this? This is a without your control, you know, it just happened like that. This is considered reflex action. Okay, because it just happened without your own conscious. Okay, not under involuntary action. Involuntary action kita ada dua jenis. Satu action that controlled by medulla oblongata, another one is action that controlled by our spinal cord. Our spinal cord control one is the reflex action. Okay, a sudden reaction. Okay, reaction that happen instantly. Okay, the involuntary action that controlled by our medulla oblongata is like blinking of our eye, not because of this one, normal blinking of our eye, heartbeat, breathing, the what you call blood circulation, that one all. Okay, this one is to prevent the smoke from entering the eye. Okay, it's same like this one also. You touch the thorn, you immediately withdraw because of the reflex action. Okay, because you don't want to get a serious injury. Same here, you immediately close your eye because you don't want to get a serious injury in your eye. So this is considered a reflex action. Okay, a reflex action has took place. Okay, and then you must tell why is it important. This response is very important because it can prevent serious injuries. Okay, it can prevent serious injuries. That is the importance of reflex action. Done?
Done, sir.
Okay,
Done.
next. Good. Amin's brother was playing at the reflexology area. He carried out activity as shown in diagram 6.2. Okay, he stand with the two sole of feet and then he tried to stand upside down, where he stand against the floor with the his palm of hand. Now, in your opinion, which situation he will feel more pain? Explain your answer. Okay, so definitely sole of feet we won't feel more pain. We will feel more pain when you do in this way. Okay, situation in Q, because palm of the hand has thinner epidermis and more more what? More pain receptor lah, because they were asking about pain, right? More pain receptors compared to sole of feet. Okay, you already get your 3 mark ready, like you get tell thinner epidermis, more pain receptor. So just I can add one more idea. Okay, hence the the palm of the hand is more sensitive. Is more sensitive than the sole of feet. Okay, all your 3 marks there ready.
Done, sir.
Okay, all right. Next question. I think no more question ready. Okay, we continue to the next part. Next part. Okay, next part is the optical illusion, the visual impairment lah. Okay, I don't know why this thing now load yet.
Sir, is it okay if I write the answers in a piece of paper first? I didn't print the...
Yeah, later you transfer them back lah.
Okay, sir.
All right. Because now I think the new exercise
The
today's
new
one.
exercise, sir.
Okay, I think today's kita tak sempat kot. Let me explain first. Then I think you can print out later and do it.
Okay, sir.
Okay, right. Okay, so now let us finish this. How do limitation of sense, defect in sensory organ, and aging affect the human hearing and sight? Okay, now we are going to investigate on the limitation of sight and the limitation of hearing, and how the aging can be one of the factor, and how the defects can be corrected. Okay, everything about the hearing and sight. Okay, now let me zoom this. Audio visual, which combine the sense of hearing, sight, plays an important role in daily life. Let us investigate how limitation of sense, defects in sensory organ, and aging affect the sensitivity of hearing and sight of the human. Okay, first thing we want to learn is the limitation of the sight. Okay, limitation of the sight means the limit of your eye lah. The limitation is in the ability of the eye to see object. For example, we cannot see very small, we cannot see very large one, we cannot see the thing behind the wall in front of us. Okay, examples lah. We cannot see very tiny object such as microorganism, as well very distant object like the planet of Jupiter. Limitation of sight includes optical illusion and blind spot. Okay, for example, observe this diagram carefully. If you see PQ and RS are showing two arrows, if I'm asking you which one is look longer, your brain will try to interpret telling you that PQ is longer compared to RS. Okay, and in the second situation, which spot in the center is larger? Which spot in the center is larger? This one X or this one Y? It's like we are already in the spectacle shop already. They are testing the eye, right? We're also testing our eye here. So X bigger or Y bigger? So we will try to tell X is bigger. Okay, we will try to tell X is bigger compared to Y. Okay, and then I put certain circles here and I inscribed a square shape here. Are the side of the squares straight or curved? It looks like a little bit curvy, but do you know what is the real answer? Which line is longer? The PQ and RS are the same length. The size of X and size of Y are the same size. And the sides of the squares are straight. It is not actually curved. Then why your brain cheat you? The brain cheat you because it interpret based on the objects around the thing you want to see, or we can call it as a disturbance. These are the disturbance that cause our brain to falsely interpret things. Okay, for example, these two are same size, but you you surround it with a much bigger circle and you surround the X with much a smaller circle, so your brain will try get cheated and tell the circle X is bigger than the circle Y. But as a matter of fact, both are at the same size. The disturbance around the X and Y cause our brain to falsely interpret information, and same explanation for the C. Okay. Check your answer using straight ruler. Is it your answer is correct or Y? Okay, we already tell. When you remove your PQ, this arrow, which is the disturbance I mentioned earlier, or we call distractions, you can realize they are the same length. Optical illusion. This is what we call optical illusion. Optical illusion occur when an object that is seen differ from the actual state. Okay? Kamu nampak sesuatu yang berlainan daripada perkara sebenar. Okay? Optical illusion occurs because brain unable to accurately interpret the object seen by the eye due to the distractions around the object. I call it disturbance. They use the term distraction. Okay, we use the term distraction around the object. When you have a distraction around the object, your brain falsely interpret or unable to accurately interpret the object. This is what we call optical illusion. Okay, and blind spot. Blind spot is sometimes we cannot see something. Okay, for example, this is the road. Okay, let's say got two ways. This is your car. Now you want to move towards right hand side. You see through your windows, your mirror there. Sorry, your mirror there, whether got any motorcycle or any car coming from behind or not. You will find out no one, and you try to go to the right hand side, but suddenly your car got hit. There was a car that rushing towards this lane, and why your eye cannot detect? Because the image of the car fall on your blind spot. Because our eye cannot rotate 361. We are not a rabbit. A rabbit can see almost 360 degree, but we as a human unable to do that. So some of the image will fall under the blind spot. If it is fall under the blind spot, then we cannot detect the image. Okay, you can try out this exercise to prove your blind spot. Okay, for example, hold this book with your right hand and straighten your arm, cover your left eye, and then you try to look the cat with your right eye. Move this book slowly towards the eye. When you focus only the cat, you will started to feel like the bird already disappear, because this bird fall under your blind spot. Later you can try out this lah. But this is what we call blind spot. Why our image fall on the blind spot are invisible? You all know for the fact that blind spot is the area that does not have any photoreceptor. So how your eye going to detect that? We are unaware of the presence of blind spot in the eye because it is not possible for the image of the same object to fall on the blind spot of the both eyes simultaneously. Okay, blind spot we got two, right, on your left hand side eye and right hand side eye. Sometimes you won't realize some of the image it will fall onto the blind spot, whether it's in your right eye or your left eye, doesn't matter. Both eye also got blind spot and both the image fall on the both blind spot. Then you cannot see the object. That's how the invisibility theory can come in. Okay, if let's say you want to make a invisible suit for example lah, you all like to watch superheroes movies. Okay, if you want to make a suit that is invisible, yes, you need to apply this science knowledge. You must make sure your suit that you are wearing must the image must fall on the blind spot of the people who seeing that suit, and then only invisibility is possible. Okay, it's pure science, but it's not I don't know whether it's possible to create such suit or not, or you can make such power or not. Okay, but if there is an invisibility, this is the reason behind it. The image fall under the blind spot, so people are unaware there is an image like this all. Okay, because all the image must fall on the blind spot, we cannot see one. Okay, now photograph 1.14 show the example of various device used to overcome the limitation of sight. Okay, for example, scanning from electron microscope. Electron microscope to what? To see a very tiny object like microorganism. Ultrasound machine to see the position of the fetus in our baby, so in our mother's womb. Okay, we want to see whether the baby is moving around or not, healthy or not, is it going to born with a disability or not. Yes, you can detect earlier now. When you are pregnant, you can detect whether you are going to get a Down syndrome child or child with a disability. Okay, and we now have an X-ray machine. X-ray is extremely harmful to our health. Okay, but why we are using X-ray? We have no other choice. So they won't allow to take X-ray more than 2 times or 3 times in a month. Once you've taken, you have to wait for another 3 months, then only you can take another X-ray, unless it's an emergency, because the radiation come from the X-ray can cause cancer. Remember that. Okay, very harmful rays. So it's better to use MRI or other scanning thing. Okay, X-ray is cheaper, that's why people go for it, but it also have come with a great disadvantage. Light microscope, electron microscope got difference. Electron is much can give a, you can zoom better compared to light microscope, and binocular to see far object, telescope to see very distant object, and so lah. We have a lot of things to overcome the limitation of sight. Okay, now the important part is this one. Listen carefully. Okay, let me take a sip of water. One minute. Okay. Defects of sight and ways to correct them. Okay. Kecacatan penglihatan. Defects of sight. First one is short-sightedness. Second one is long-sightedness. And third one, we also have astigmatism, but it is not included in the syllabus, I think. Last time it was there. Okay, short-sightedness. Short-sightedness, very simple. You understand the idea first. Nurse means you are good at it. That means you are good only at a short-sighted. Short-sighted. That means you cannot see the distant object. Short-sightedness means what? You can see the near object but not the distant object. Inability to see distant object clearly. Distant object appear blurry because the image is focused in front of retina. Okay, short-sightedness means your image form in front of the retina, very short. Suppose this supposed to form at here, right? At here, right? Retina, right? Normal eye. But now it formed in front of the retina. That's why we call short-sightedness. Okay, why this defect can take place? Because first thing, your eye lens is too thick or eyeball is too long, so it cannot reach until the retina. If too thick means the light cannot reach the retina one. Okay, it form in front one, in front of the retina. If eyeball is too long, also the problem. Suppose you should have a retina here, but your eyeball is too long, so cannot do anything lah. If you become a short-sightedness person. Okay, right. So how to overcome it? So you need to place a lens that can push this image formation onto the retina. So we use a concave lens. Must remember the name and the shape. Okay, this is how a concave lens look like. Okay, so when you place a concave lens, okay, the light will come, and then make sure the light fall onto the retina. Okay, right, that's about short-sightedness. Long-sightedness means you are good at seeing distant object, but the nearer object you cannot see very clearly one. Inability to see near object clearly. Long-sightedness means the image form very long one. You remember, very easy one. If image is the image form very short one, short-sightedness. The image form after the retina, that means long-sightedness. Okay, near object appear blurry because the image is focused behind the retina. So if behind retina, it can still can cause nerve impulses, yes, but the image not so clear. So these defects why happen? Because your eye lens is too thin and too short, so the light travel more. If your eye lens too thick or too long, the light cannot travel more, travel short, travel shorter part. If too thin or too short, it will travel more, so your image form behind the retina. So how to correct that? Use your convex lens. Convex lens is like this, like your eye shape. Okay, so when the light shine on the convex lens, it will try to correct the defect by make sure the image form on the retina. Okay, so remember, for short-sightedness we use concave lens. For long-sightedness we use convex lens. Okay, next. There is astigmatism. Sorry, I just not tell, don't understand. Okay, astigmatism is like we call in Malay silau lah. Okay, seeing part of an object clearer than the rest of the object. Okay, for example, if you see a flower, you can focus the flower or tree, but things around it is like getting blurred. This is because normally, why? Because you have a uneven cornea. When you have an uneven cornea, everyone cornea like that, yours one like that, uneven. So some part blur, some part very clear. This defect is caused by uneven curvature of the cornea or eye lens. Okay, so how to how we can correct our astigmatism? Normally when you go to the spectacle shop, they will tell short form astig. They won't pronounce it fully, astigmatism lah. This is what is we call it as a astig. Astig means you can see some object clearly, some object blur. Okay, due to uneven curvature of cornea or eye lens. So astigmatism can be corrected by using cylindrical lens. The cylindrical lens also we got two shape. We don't want to go into that lah. That one will too deep. Okay, just know this is a cylindrical lens. Okay, so let us wrap up. Short-sightedness caused by eye lens too thick, eyeball too long, lens too thick, ball too long. And how you correct it? Use a concave lens. For long-sightedness, eye lens is too thin or eyeball is too short, so your image form behind the retina. So to correct this, use your convex lens. Okay, and astigmatism is the some part of the object clearer than the rest of the object. This is caused by the uneven curvature of cornea or eye lens, corrected by the cylindrical lens. Okay, limitation of hearing. We all know, we already studied this before, right? In our form 2, right? Okay, form 2, the sound chapter. Our human is able to listen from 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz. More than 20,000 is ultrasound. Remember, I teach you last year, ultrasound. Less than 20 hertz, we call infrasound. For example, some dogs, dolphin, they can detect this. Okay, even our heartbeat sound can be detected by this infrasound animals like dolphin. So they can sense whether this human is dangerous or not. Okay, they will try to they know the sound wave travel to them. So that's why the dogs normally can identify a bad person or good person. Okay, by the heartbeat sound, which can be detected by the ear. It is true, because a dog is not only ultrasound, also infrasound. Some of the dog. Okay, if you mix breed, maybe this ability is not found predominantly, but if an original breed, they have this infrasound ability. Okay, the ear are unable to detect sound which is lie outside of this frequency. This frequency also depends when we are aging. This frequency is not not we have the ability to detect one. For example, maybe not 20,000, until 15,000 only we can hear when we are aging. Okay, the frequency range of hearing of every individual is different. When a person get older, the frequency range of his hearing get narrower or decreasing. Why? Because his eardrum become less elastic, so cannot vibrate faster. Less elastic means what? Cannot vibrate faster. If elastic means can vibrate faster. So in order to overcome all this limitation in hearing, then some devices are invented. For example, loudspeaker to amplify the sound so that it can hear from the far away. Stethoscope help us to listen to the heartbeats and so on. Okay, next part. Defects of hearing and ways to correct them. Defects of hearing occurs when the sense of hearing of a person does not function well. Okay, now let us see why a person. Okay, just now one is different. Just now one is limitation of hearing due to our frequency dropping. It is not defect. Itu bukan kecacatan. It's nature. Some people have kecacatan pendengaran. Defects of hearing. Okay, what kind of defects? We're going to see that. Defects of hearing occur when a sense of hearing of a person does not function well. Okay, sense of hearing does not function well. Why? Defects of hearing normally caused by the damage to the ear due to the infection by microorganism, injury, kamu korek telinga sampai tercucuk. you punya eardrum, aging process, continuous exposure to loud sound. This is a reminder to those who like to wear your AirPod or headset all the time. You can see it can seriously cause a defect of your hearing towards your hearing. Damage to the outer ear and middle ear, okay, can be easily corrected because physically we can see them and do correction for that. For example, the clearing foreign object in the ear canal, buang tai telinga, like that. Okay, punctured eardrum and damaged ossicle can also be corrected by using medicine or surgery. That means punctured eardrum and damaged ossicle is also cause of the defects of hearing, and can be corrected by medicine or surgery. But if you have more damage towards the inner parts of the ear, then it is impossible to correct it. Damage to the inner ear is more difficult to correct. For example, a damaged cochlea can be corrected. Okay, this one they tell can be corrected lah, but most of the case cochlea damage cannot be corrected. Okay, here they give you the implant lah. Okay, implant means you need to like wear it. Okay, I think this is what we call, no, you implant means you do surgery and place them inside the ear. That is implant. Okay, so if your cochlear damage ready, we will use a cochlear implant. That means a artificial cochlea. Now your cochlea is not functioning anymore, but what we can do is we produce the same function machine and put inside your ear. Can, but very costly, very risky at the same time. But a damaged auditory nerve cannot be corrected. Only can pray, let God help you. Cannot do anything. So photograph 1.16 show how innovation and technology are applied to invent smaller and more sophisticated hearing aids. These are the example of hearing aids. Initially, it was this big, then getting smaller, smaller, and tinier. Okay, so these are the advancement in hearing aids comes on. Okay, and finally we are, because today this week we want to close the 1.2 ready, the much longest subtopic. Next week I want to start with the stimuli and response in plant ready. Okay, so we should, as usual lah, we should thank the God for giving all the five senses and be responsible of taking care of them. We already exposed with the knowledge of how to take care of your sensory organs. Okay, what kind of things will cause damage to your sensory organs. So as a rational human, try to do the proper things lah to take care of all your five senses there. Okay, that's all about 1.2. Okay, so your work is, I also never upload yet. Okay, hold on. 1 minute. Desktop, where is my desktop? Okay, let me upload. Okay, your work is this one. I give you a lot of space, but actually not required. It's just a 2-line answer only. You have to try your exercise 9 and 10. Okay, you try first. Okay, you try to answer the K-bar question also. You try first. Next week I want to listen from you. Okay, try all these things, and I included a PT3 question at here also, question 8. You try to do that. Okay. And then about the hearing defect and its limitation. Okay. So that's all for this week. I shall continue our class on next upcoming class. Take care. Bye, guys.
Bye, sir.
All right. Bye.
Bye, sir.
Okay. Bye. Take care.
Bye, sir.
Bye. Bye.